Yeah, this is Papa WaBe and time have come. Well, I can tell them one story. This is Dejazmatch. Stay tuned.
Yeah, Ras Tafari, Emperor Selassie the first. Tell the people about embarrassment.
Okay.
So hold on, stick a pin. You talked about Bob Marley. So how did that impact the vibe? Because obviously Bob Marley was peaking. You know, he was a mega star at his passing, but he was still peaking in terms of the power of the message. What was that like living through? Because I was a child when he passed. What was that like being on radio and having that happen?
Ah, boy. You know, I'm searching for the words for that, my friend. And instead of trying to make up something, you know, it's really it wasn't a way that you can describe it. You just basically had to feel it, and that's not a cop-out answer. Is because it's a time that like no other. Okay, and you see, indeed, now I never saw Bob live. Okay, I wasn't that fortunate. Had tickets to go to the show at the Capitol Center. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. I was going to go with my brethren, Alan Young, you know. And, but, you know, so, but I did meet Peter. I had a chance to meet Bunny, interview him, and even MC a couple of his shows. And then certain family man, certain other ones, had a chance to really get to know and work with Junior Marvin on another, you know, I'll tell you about that moving forward at XM. Yeah. We were pioneer over at XM Satellite before it merged and everything. But yeah, it was a time where folks was trying to get grips of what really had happened. And so folks who knew about Bob was basically like, yeah, we try to tell y'all. And then a lot of folks got hip to Bob after he passed, you know what I'm saying? You know, by listening to his music and things like that. And I have to go back before I really go forward to big up Bobby Newby, Ricky Hillocks, who passed. Ricky Hillocks was the owner of West Indian Record Mark and Television.
Yes, I've heard the name.
And they, as elder Jamaican brethren, would encourage I. Okay, they would encourage I. Like, hey man, not too many brothers into our music. Boom, boom, boom. So they would give me stories, history, you know, about the music. Tony, of course, but Tony was already on the air doing this thing, and I would see Tony. Eventually, I lived in a house with Tony for a few months.
Okay.
But Lulu,
and that's the iconic Tony Carr. Big up Tony Carr, because I know he'll watch this. Send it to him.
There was the first Jamaican DJs, like the sounds was Emperor, Bobby's Music Machine, and a brother called DJ Lulu. Okay. And Lulu was the first Jamaican DJ to give me a blind. Okay. He gave me a 7-inch reel with enough songs and, man, you need to play this. Okay. You need to, you know, this some music you need to have. Lulu was that first one. Okay. Even when I went up to the turntable up on Georgia Avenue, which was the spot, and Lulu introduced me to the crowd. And you know, as a yard man, Yachty tough when it comes to you know. So I'm playing the music and everybody, Lulu get on the mic and say some bad words and say, you don't know who this is. This man play our music on the radio. Right? So then we, you know, started getting a little more love. Okay, you know. And so, but it was okay because I always had self-confidence anyway. So my father used to always say, whatever you do, even if you're going to be a street sweeper, you'd be the best, you know. So when I started into the radio thing, that was my thing, you know, to uplift and educate and motivate people. Okay, I don't play any instruments. I don't sing no song, you know, probably need and should get some credits and stuff. But, you know, but that's not what we're here to do. We're here to share and to uplift and motivate people through the song that you may sing, the song that someone else they sing, just that's my gift, bringing people together, So I had to big them man up because they would encourage I. Okay, they would always encourage I. Steady Fred from Emperor, I come around because that's when sound was sound. Okay, that's when
physical. They had the physical sound systems.
Right, and you had a selector, and then you had the DJ. Okay, and the selector did all the work. Okay, because the selector and I talk on the mic. Selector, see, people don't understand when you see a selector work. The selector don't touch the mic, Oh, well, you know that, you know what I'm saying? But the selector is pulling the tunes, okay?
Yes.
And I always considered myself a selector, okay?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And my early days of learning that in the studio was sometimes sitting in with Sister Dira, and back then, of course, it was vinyl and, it picks up. So I learned certain things from being around certain people,
Yeah. So what were some of the artists that stood out to the eye? Because we're going to contrast, because I want to bring it up to the modern time with the messages.
Okay.
Who were some of the artists that, you were selecting in those early days, coming in as an African-American to the, a different culture, listening to the sounds?
Okay.
Who,
Great question. Of course, Bob, Dennis, Peter, Bunny, the Itals, Mighty Diamonds, the Morwells, some songs by Gregory, Third World, and of course Big U, a whole lot of Linville Thompson, so many, brother. I would have to go and get some lists,
that's
I
good.
still have from them, but
I just want people, because Jamaicans will say, who is he? And just by the names that you're calling, they're gonna overstand the music. I have a method to everything. I have a method. Big up yourself,
I can't forget the Tamlins. Okay,
yes.
The Twinkle Brothers, those were those artists back in those times, that had the Ras Tafari message in music, and of course Ras Michael and the Sons of Negros, some liturgical chants,
So what year was it that you said, okay, Papa WaBe, I say Rastafari? What was it coinciding with your radio, or did it take some time?
Basically a little bit before then. So I would say 80, going into 81, that's when, we decided to not tee up and go through with the triad and learn more.
Yes.
Okay. And of course, see, you're a young man, and people will tell you Rastafari has changed a lot, my friend. Okay. With the advent of the newness of the time that we're living in. Okay. So, what was before is not anymore. Okay, and so I've been blessed to, when Nana Faraika first came to the area, she stayed with I and my wife, and when my son was like months old, and I learned a lot from her in terms of the I story of the Rastafari tribe and her part in it, and so I learned from people like her. Okay, and other certain elders, who have come through and share the works and do the works, have to big up Ross Iris and, I said Pa Jack, who's passed on, and, Baba Marcus and some of the elders that have,
legendary elders.
So I was, a little young Ross, trying to learn some things, but just upholding what I know and what I've learned and still was learning in terms of Rastafari, in terms of myself, being a young father and, and moving through the whole DC and you in DC and you. DC is different.
And I want you to talk about, because we talked to Ross Lidge and he told us about growing up in the crack era, the murder capital.
Yeah.
So you were there in the height of that. The notorious.
I was driving taxi them time. Okay.
Wow.
When crack came in, and so I drove taxi for 17 years. And I never forget I was leaving the Bunny Wailer show. I had MC Bunny Wailer and Luciano. We're at the at downtown DC, where they plays hockey at. And the show wasn't really, a lot of people didn't really attend. It was poorly promoted and whatnot, you know. So I remember walking to my cab, and brethren said, "Boy, Papa WaBe, I never know a man like you drive taxi." And so I'm like, "Okay, what that mean, bro? You know, what that mean?" He said, "Well," I said, I said, "Tell me what that means." So he started stuttering and whatnot, because you know me, we not back down, you know. Yeah. So I wasn't confrontational, but I just want to know what that meant. A man like me, because do you really know me, you know? So the sister I was with, she told me the easy, you know. She was from Bahamas. She said, "It's easy, you know." And I said, "No, brother, what do you mean, a man like me?" So he said, "Well, I mean no disrespect." I said, "Okay, all of that I get. But what do you mean, a man like me?" So he said, "Well, I hear you on the radio." And so you thought I have a Lamborghini because you hear me on the radio. Okay, you see me MC show, you see me with a beautiful sister, so you think I have a Porsche or something like that, is what you're saying? Well, I said, "Well, look, bro, let me ask you something. What's wrong with a man serving his community, working for himself?"
Yeah, Ras Tafari, Emperor Haile Selassie the first. Tell the people about him, breast minute. Well, even if the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, but to the coming while we stand tall, I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start ball, cause they see the city streets them flood, but when the hurricane blow down their wall, I'll be by your side, I mean I'm both. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your love was a lifeline. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, that light was a lifeline. It seems like the world is upside down. I will never hide, I'd rather stand my ground. Lion of Judah blessed with the triple crown. Can't come fool I with no circus clown. Now fear no hurricane or the cyclone. Respect for Mama Earth with that embedded on me bone. That's why I will never leave you alone. Protect you from harm when the alarm sound. So even when the stars they fall and the moon turn into